You can either pay for wellness now, or you can pay for illness later. Everybody's first session in the egg, their first full 50-minute session in the egg, is an autonomic nervous system reset. And so we use certain colors for that, certain songs for that. And depending on what else you're working through, we try to pull in song protocols that will add some layers. You can get into alpha and theta, which are those states of like deep, deep rest. Alpha and theta are where you get to the place where you are resetting your autonomic nervous system, which is what the egg is brilliant at. That restful state, that is the minimum that you're going to get in a session in the Harmonic Egg. We do have the opportunity to address anything in the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual state. There are a whole host of other things, inflammation, which is a physical condition, but I think it also ripples out into your mental, emotional, and spiritual states as well. There's many ways we can sort of attack, which sounds like an aggressive word, but when we're looking at imbalances, we do kind of want to get in there, break them up, get them out of here. When we see the inside and outside of the egg, you'll see why. The environment that the egg creates, the dodecahedron exterior, the hexagonal platform that the anti-gravity chair sits on, and the 360-degree circle interior allows for those sound and light frequencies to bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce, and they're just bouncing and colliding and coming around and into you, which is so amazing. And the music is your own personal symphony for 40 minutes. It is created by people hand-selected by the inventor Gail Lynn, and she made sure that every musician, composer who had the pleasure of collaborating with her was someone of higher consciousness, or at least open to higher consciousness, deeply spiritual, open heart chakra, people who just live as the human embodiment of love and compassion. And you can feel that in every single song. And there are 70 of them. And they're magic. They're absolute magic. I use that word a lot, don't I? For an example, if you were working on empowerment and confidence alongside that ANS reset, I would probably choose the song Eternal Soul of Stars, which is a beautiful, beautiful, soulful, it has soul in the title for a reason. I got the chills right now just thinking about this song. For me, the egg itself is a sentient being, and it is in tuned to whoever has the pleasure of stepping inside of it. Even though it is a passive experience, there is so much actively happening in that moment. So the vibration from the colored light and the sound is creating scalar waves, and scalar waves are electromagnetic wavelengths where they intersect, and at that intersection the magnetic activation falls away, and then it just becomes pure bioresonant energy, and that component is what is interacting with us on a cellular level. If you are addressing something significant, something chronic, or something really heavy emotionally or mentally, we want to get into a protocol of multiple sessions. And that would depend on what you're working on. But we would have a discussion about what is it that you're suffering from. And from that, I would say, I think you would probably need 6 sessions or maybe 12 sessions. And we have packages where the larger the package, the greater the discount, because I know finances are a concern. But one of my philosophies is you can either pay for wellness now or you can pay for illness later. And if you let these things build up where they become something significant, serious, terminal, then you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars, even for procedures that healthcare, quote unquote, covers, because we all know how that works. So if you give yourself a little bit of attention, maybe twice a month or once a month if that's all you can afford, you can take steps toward connecting back to yourself, bringing all of the parts of you back into wholeness. And I love that the egg is so good at all of it. If you have an imbalance, say, in your mental state, let's say you have severe anxiety and you're just caught in this loop, and it's your monkey brain every single day getting you back into that negative self-talk over and over, and you can't escape it. One session may help you for that day, but then you're going to go right back into your life and be with the people that trigger that sense of anxiety, or maybe it's a job, or maybe it's you're a caregiver and you feel like you're always drowning. If you're going to do multiple sessions, the egg can really relieve you of that, because it's not just what you're taking from the egg, not just what is the egg helping you with, it is also what are you letting go of, what are you surrendering, and what are you leaving behind. Because the egg is magnificent at pulling out all of that ick so that you can then start to thread the healthier, higher frequency parts of yourself. We had a lot of research books to become guardians of the egg. I believe it's 17 books that we had to read, starting with the book that Gail wrote, Unlocking the Ancient Secrets of Healing, and that talks about her journey, her health crisis that led her to channel the design for the egg and have it manufactured against like a whole host of challenges and obstacles, and bless her for all of that, for this amazing technology that she brought forth. And then we had videos to watch and a test to take, and sort of synthesizing all of that when you're with a client and saying, how can I best help them? We're told not to pinpoint a song or a color before our discussion with the client, but sometimes you just get this knowing, and you're completely confirmed when they're sitting there and they're saying, oh gee, I'm really struggling with this today, and you knew it, you just felt it coming at you. And that would go along with quantum physics and entanglement and non-locality, of being able to pick up on energies that are miles and miles and miles away. There is a logic to the protocols for the egg, but there's also that element of sometimes logic just flies out the window, and it's not coming from here, it's maybe coming from here and here. And that's just, I get the chills, that's magic. That's where the magic happens. Yeah. And for me, I'm really grateful to, have all of my training as an actor to tap into, and that is emotion, energy in motion. That is my first language, my first love. That I can tap into immediately, and then I have my training as an integrated energy practitioner, and that also deals with emotions that become trapped in our organ systems, and herbalism. And what lights me on fire as an herbalist are the energetics of plants, not necessarily like the prescriptive methodology of being an herbalist. Like, I have a tummy ache, Leigh, what do I take? I'd rather look at how are you feeling in your auric field that day and kind of get into it in that way. And then, of course, Reiki and the chakras. I guess it's using all of your faculties to pinpoint what does the client need. And sometimes what the client wants is very different from what the client needs. That's definitely true of all modalities, really. It's true of manifesting. It's true of, asking our spirit guides, our angels. Yeah. Feeling other people's emotions, even the emotions that they're afraid to acknowledge within themselves. And that is, emotion is energy in motion. And if you were to walk into a room, two people who just had a fight, and neither of them is speaking, and even if their body language is neutral, they're not showing you or showcasing anything, you can feel that tension from the moment you open the door. And some people who are particularly gifted can feel it from 50 feet away. They just know. There's a whole element of boundaries in there too. It's like, what is mine, what is not mine? And you really have to become trained at keeping them separate. Where do I end and the next person begins? That is my biggest struggle. That is something I'm working on now. And you have to be mindful of that as an energy practitioner at all times. I think that is why, as a practitioner, I am most comfortable at the Harmonic Egg because I don't have to worry about those boundaries other than a conversation. But I am better at the conversational boundaries than I am at my body is next to yours. I have my hands on you on the Reiki table because I'm taking it. Oh God, I can feel it. They're in the table. Yeah, I take it all in and I feel it. If someone has heartache and sadness, that's so hard for me. Maybe it's a gift and maybe it's a curse and maybe it's both. But holy God Almighty, grief, anger, all of those. Acknowledgement of I'm taking steps to call all the parts of me back home where I feel more whole. And the egg is a tremendous tool to activate a person's innate healing ability, because we all have the power. We all have the power to heal ourselves. We just sometimes need a nudge in the right direction and or the right tools to help us to alchemize that. This clearly is the exterior, and we were talking about the dodecahedron shape, which is 12 sides, two-dimensional. If we're talking about sacred geometry and numerology, 12 sides, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So there's your 3 of Tesla's magical numbers, 3, 6, and 9. And here we have the platform, the lower brown platform, and I'll come around the other side, upon which the anti-gravity chair sits, is a hexagon, and the hexagon has 6 sides. So there's the other magical number in Tesla's mathematics. And there are a lot of people who subscribe to sacred geometry who believe that the hexagon creates a vortex. And that vortex, when you're in the egg, will amplify your intention for your healing session. The interior of the egg is a 360-degree circle. So 3 plus 6 equals 9, and there's the 9 from the Tesla mathematics. And this allows for the sound and the light frequencies to sort of bounce off all of these. You'll notice that it isn't completely smooth, but it isn't angular either. If you come through So when the door is closed to the egg, all of the sound and light frequencies are bouncing off all of these walls. And that is what creates the scalar waves, and those scalar waves are penetrating, rejuvenating the human bioenergetic field.